Day 11, Poland against Colombia. Pre-tournament, Poland and Colombia were the two favoured teams of this group. They knew today that defeat would spell the end for the loser. Both with underwhelming results, somewhat self-destructive, had the opportunity of getting their tournament back on track with a win. Both nations, with the longest serving coaches in their history, made big changes for both teams. Poland making the four, Colombia following suit. Star players James Rodriguez and Robert Lewandowski were under big pressure with everything played for tonight in a game that had a knockout feel to it. There was a brisk opening in a noisy and colourful arena. The contest then descended into a stop-start affair in which players were sprawled out, rather exaggerating injury, and the promising start hoped for very much did not materialise. Whistles of discontent are heard throughout the arena as the game as yet has not settled into the game what had been expected. 15 minutes played and still no clear-cut opportunities created. In fact, not even half chances. Both lacking the final quality, the quality ball to pierce one another. Lots of tempo though and chanting. Stars players Rodriguez and Lewandowski still were unable to replicate their club form into the tournament in a game patternless and unexcited as yet. Each Polish touch of the ball were met by howls of derision and discontent. Uribe then came on to replace Aguilera, who had been clattered a few minutes earlier. He found himself stretchered off. Then Cuadrado produced the first piece of magic of the contest, negating his way on the byline, beating two guys defenders, but the ball in would be denied by Chesney in the Polish goal. Then finally, a finely constructed goal would finally break the resistance of Poland, Quintero finding Rodriguez, who with a dink of the ball into the Polish area, which was met by the leaping Mina, who got there to the ball ahead of Chesney. Colombia were ahead and Poland were in need somehow to get back into the contest. The atmosphere was electric now for the right reasons, as Poland had to find a way to save themselves. The goal seemed to galvanise Colombia as Poland looked to draw level as the half drew to a close. For the early minutes of the first 5 minutes of the restart didn't suggest sufficient reaction from Poland. It was very doubtful. I mean, they hadn't suggested that they could summon the spirit and a commitment to keep them in the tournament. Colombia was still more likely. Falcao with a sight of goal, woeful and wayward with his drive. Poland were needing to make a threat. They finally forced Ospina into his first save. The long ball over the top with Lewandowski pursuing, but the save was made by Ospina to deny the Polish striker. Now Colombia were taking a back seat as Poland, without much penetration or success, sought ways to break through the Colombian ranks. Poland certainly were no closer to scoring, and then final nail in the coffin in the Polish. The final nail was dug in the Polish coffin as Quintero paid the fine ball to Falcao to burst through on goal and give a clinical finish with the outside of his boot, low into the corner, scoring his first goal ever at a World Cup tournament. The arena was full of joy and celebration and passion as the Colombians, the 30,000 of them, roared in such passion, in such happiness. Then Colombia were now on fire, and then Rodriguez with a fantastic pass into the centre, and all alone running through was Cuadrado, who opened his body and gave a side-footed finish lower into the corner. Like Chesney given no chance, and Poland totally dispirited. Falcao got a standing ovation as he left the field, and he would hand the captain's armband to Rodriguez. He trudged off a hero. Spina was then on hand to deny Poland even a consolation point-blank range to deny Grigoriak. And then Spina would be there again to deny Lewandowski the drive on goal, and the power drive touched over. Then a backheel attempt in the Polish goal from the Colombian striker would, as Colombia were trying to inflict further pain on Poland and its fans. 5 minutes of stoppage time were played before the pain was over for the Poles, and the joy and celebration was to start for Colombia. They were full of renewed vigour and hope as they were set to play Senegal in the final encounter. Poland had no hope, and they would face Japan with nothing to play for.